What's up, Gamecock fans? It's your boy Rooster back to blow it up with another great video today. Wanted to talk about Dylan Stewart. Saw an interview by Dylan the other day when they did the player interviews just before fall camp started. Last year I did a video on Dylan talking about the silent assassin. And that's Dylan Stewart. You could tell he just doesn't want to be in front of a camera. He wants to be on the football field. He wants to be playing football, or he wants to be getting ready to play football. He was also doing some drills and some practices with Jadeveon Clowney back to help some of the younger guys at South Carolina, I guess, in the offseason. Great for Jadeveon Clowney. Great for these young kids at South Carolina to get to know the legends of South Carolina football, and a guy is still kind of active and playing in the NFL. I don't know who Clowney signed with, if he signed with anyone for this year, but last year he was with the Carolina Panthers. But guys like that coming back to the program and working with a lot of these younger guys says a lot about what Shane Beamer has brought back to South Carolina, because we didn't see this for quite a few years through the Muschamp and all that stuff for these guys coming back. Now you see it all the time where these older guys are working with the younger guys. We saw it with Xavier Leggett when he went out and worked out with Deebo Samuel and all that stuff, and how that affected. You see a lot of these guys now working with, coming back and working with the younger players at South Carolina, really investing in the program, being around the program, and that's great for South Carolina. It's great for South Carolina fans. It's great for these young ball players, and it's great for recruiting for these young high school kids to see guys like Jadeveon Clowney back working with some of the young kids on the football team. Say, hey, man, he's going to be around for me. Can we get Jadeveon Clowney to come work with me? But the transformation, I want to talk about the transformation of Dylan Stewart from last year to this year. We know how well Dylan did last year. Kyle Kennard kind of benefited from Dylan Stewart's motor. Dylan Stewart's just got a motor. He just don't stop, right? We saw it chasing down runners, chasing down quarterbacks from the backside. He really doesn't stop. A lot of bend. Now, tendency to get a little quick and get himself out of position. But his pursuit, he makes up for it in chasing guys down. And we saw him chase down some fast guys. I mean, I don't know what Dylan Stewart's new 40 time is. I don't know what his new weight is. Basically, what we can get is off the roster, and I don't know if this roster's been updated on South Carolina's website of the size of these guys, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Dylan Stewart looks like he's in tremendous state. Some people think he's the best edge rusher in the country, best defensive player in the SEC, and he could quite be. But he's got to have help. Where does he find help? Some of these newer, transferred in interior defensive linemen take some heat off of him and eat up some blocks. Will him being there help them provide pass rush? Who's the opposite side? I've kind of touched on it in some videos before, but I wanted to kind of do a breakdown of who could be on the opposite side of Dylan Stewart that's going to have maybe a major year because of Dylan Stewart and him getting so much attention, and they're going to try to chip him and double team him and do whatever. Someone else has to step up on the other side of that line. And who will it be? Right now, the front runner, from what we're hearing out of camp and spring or whatever, we know camp just started, so not a lot going on. We think it's going to be Brian Thomas Jr., probably the most experienced player when it comes to South Carolina, opposite Dylan Stewart. 51 tackles in his career, Brian Thomas Jr., 8.5 tackles for loss, about 5.5 sacks in his career. Not as tall and lanky as a Dylan Stewart or some of these other guys, but a very explosive guy off the line, loves to tackle, very athletic guy. Just a different body type than a Dylan Stewart. And what you kind of see, because he's only 6'2", so he's a shorter guy. And a lot of times you look at these edge rushers, they're bigger and more lanky, long type guys. But Brian Thomas can tackle. That's for sure. We've seen it over the years with him at South Carolina. But let's get into some other guys. Des Yu. Now, he's another guy from that Maryland area that came in. Going into his junior season, is this the year he steps up? He's a 6'6", 250-pound guy. Kind of got banged up a little bit last year. But is it his time to shine? Is he going to be the guy to be his brother from the same area right there, Dylan Stewart shining? Can Des be the one that steps up? Does he take the motivation from watching Dylan and say, hey, I want to be the opposite of that guy? We want to get our connection on where we grew up, where we went to high school and all that stuff. I want to be the bookend for him. Another guy that came in, George Wilson Jr., from Campbell. Not a lot to talk about him, but he had 6 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. I mean, he's a 6'4", 230-pound senior guy, plenty of experience playing football. Not at this SEC level, of course, but he has seen football and played in football games. Just Jatius Gear, who's been on the team for a few years, transferred in from Syracuse. Can he pick his game up? He had 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss and 1 sack last season. Does he kick it into gear? Another 6'6", 250-pound, long, linkier guy. Is this the year he stays healthy and can pick up his game? Damon Clowney transfers in from Charlotte. I remember when he was recruited by Ole Miss and signed with Ole Miss, and I'm like, man, he's kind of one of the legacy guys at South Carolina. Didn't kind of understand. I don't even know if South Carolina offered him at the time. But went out to Ole Miss, didn't stay there, ended up 2 years at Charlotte, and now a Gamecock. Is it his time? Is he come to South Carolina and look at it and say, hey, my uncle was here, just kind of ran this thing. I need to live up to the family name here. Can he be a guy that picks it up? There's so many guys. Jalen Brown, DeQuavius Dodd, who's a freshman, Anthony Addison, freshman, Kobe. I don't want to mess this kid's name up. Let's just say Sekia Pra, I think. And excuse me, Kobe, if you watch this video and I said that wrong, but you can straighten me up in the comments section and say, Rooster Man, get my name right, boy. Get my name right. But anyway, just wanted to talk about defensive edge room for South Carolina. Expectations this year, losing Kennard. Defensive player of the year last year. Kyle Kennard was. So that's big shoes to fill. Will someone step up and have that kind of year again opposite of Dylan Stewart? I don't know if you'll see that again. Another guy over 10 sacks or whatever. It might be Dylan Stewart, just that guy. But some of these guys should benefit from all the attention that Dylan Stewart's going to get. And like I said, I just like the kid. He don't have a lot to say. He just wants to play ball. He was so uncomfortable just kind of sitting there. People were asking him questions. He just tried to give the straightest answer he could give, and he had that look on his face, man, I don't want to be here right now. I want to be out on the field or perfecting my game. Very serious guy about being the best, winning football games. And you don't hear anything bad about him. He don't have a whole lot to say. He's not out getting in trouble. He's not causing any problems. Just a good kid overall. I think he's going to have a hell of a year. And we just need to see who's going to step up around him. Hopefully some of these interior guys also put up some good numbers, which will take some pressure off of him, because then they can't slide an offensive line out to help on Stewart. And I know Stewart just wanted to add more weapons into his personal game, and he said himself he wanted to get better against the run, and that's what he's been working on. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Always come back and check on the Rooster Man over here. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and we will holler at you later. Peace.